Okay, I'm just working on putting a video together, and I'm figuring out a new seating arrangement here. Give me a second. Okay. Grab a few things here before I sit down. Okay. Put everything. Okay, I got thrown off of I don't know if I'm in the right place or not. When I watch the video back, I'll see where I am. I'm trying to figure out a new sitting spot. I have a uh, my fancy little stage for the monitor and all that shit going on. I got thrown off of the Miguel Everyone channel, and I'm pretty sure they got me on playing Richard Vobes. I was doing a series to Richard Vobes, and Richard Vobes series, um, he was saying some things on there. It's the only thing I could think of, because I wasn't really talking during the videos that got taken down and me thrown out again. I'm pretty sure I'm still within the 90 days of the first time I was thrown out. So therefore, it's probably going to be like a 2-week suspension maybe or more. I don't know. It depends on how many things they got me on. So I'm back over here on the Michael Oziak channel as long as I last. As a matter of fact, I'm still within 90 days of my last offense on the Michael Oziak channel, so I got to be very careful. I've got a few things set up here. I've got because I'm gonna under the Richard Vobes series, I'm gonna continue it over here on the Michael Oziak channel. But I want to address a few different things and try to have some fun with it, because everything I'm listening to with Richard Vobes is just upsetting to me. So I don't want to do that to myself every day. So when I came back over to the Michael Oziak channel, I noticed I had a new subscriber, Malika Joy, who had, I subscribed to her channel. Hi Malika, I'm Mike. And she has a bunch of, let me get this out of the way. Okay. She has 20 something videos or something like that. I already made a video, remastered her videos, and they had a copyright strike on it, on some piano cover-up music that I was using. So I guess that was the reason. So I had to delete them. So Malika, if you did go to those videos and you've seen them, I'm going to remake them sometime in the next few days. But I want, because I think I can help you. If you want to try to help me too, that'd be great. It's not just helping me, but helping everyone to be able to see what it is I'm showing you all a little better. All the stuff about what I'm about to play now, because I'm going to just do one video of it because it's very aggravating to listen to as well, is I'm going to play one video in the background. You're going to hear it about the sun simulator. And I bought into all this shit at one time as well. All right, I wouldn't say buy into it, but you're curious about it, right? You want to know something's up, something's fucking going. Well, you actually have the answers to what's really going on in your video. So I'm going to try to show that to you in another way. It's all about the heavy metals, upper atmosphere, lower atmosphere. I'm sure you're aware of that if you're aware of the idea of a sun simulator. And I'm not going to one of the conspiracy channels. I'm going to a mainstream channel to hear about the sun simulator, because they all have their different stories. I understand that and everything. But what I'm going to show you is you have your evidence in your own videos, in these 20-something videos, that you'll see what they're able to do with the sun's light, and the sun and the moon and everything is not what we were told it was. So I don't know where you stand on all that. It might be too much for you to hear and go look at all at once, but I hope you do. Just to let you know, we can see the true creator and the false creator / creator for ourselves. We don't need any religions, including scientific religions. As far as the sun simulator goes, it's much easier and at the same time more complicated, because people won't believe that it would work this way. But I'm sure you will, because it seems like you've done some investigations, this part of it anyway. Okay, you dump the heavy metals and minerals you want in the upper atmosphere, you're dumping the heavy metals and minerals in the lower atmosphere. However you're dumping them out, whether it be jets or factories or smelting, metal making metal and all that kind of stuff, right? So there's a lot of ways to get the heavy metals and minerals up into the atmosphere. You can attach them to other heavy metals and minerals to make them go up if you want them to rise, and everything, even gravity, as we're told, people have a hard time understanding this, but it's provable. You can just go look around for yourself and you'll understand that gravity itself is an effect of electromagnetic current. Gravity is not itself the end all be all, it's just an effect of electromagnetic current. And electromagnetic current, unfortunately, is always ignored. At least by us, by the 7.8 billion, we ignore it. And we're thrown off track about it all the time. Even wind is an effect of electromagnetic current. If you're controlling the electromagnetic current or influencing it like humans do, there's a lot to tell, there's a lot to explain, maybe more so than you even want to know about, so I won't get too carried away. I'll just continue on with the Richard Vogue series unless you tell me otherwise. In other words, unless you come and say, hey, I'm starting to see what you're saying and I want to do a series with you, I would like that, because it's crazy that no one is willing to do a fucking series because it's so easy. You throw your camera up in the sky. That's it. You're doing it. You're collecting. You're digitally collecting the EMNC even by accident in these videos. So let me go to your videos while I'm talking. It's hard because I'm doing like 5 things at once. Let's listen to the Sun Simulator guy at the same time that we go to your videos.
Simlight,
Am I even in the
an array of
I don't even know if
powerful
I'm on
arc
camera or
lamps,
not.
149
Alright, so
of
here we
them.
go.
Together, they can pour out the searing light of 10,000 suns.
Simlight is the largest artificial sun in the world. It's a facility which is able to generate an enormous amount of artificial light for
what the Sun Simulator
scientific
actually
purposes.
really is. It's
Today,
not
the
a big,
researchers are
heavy
letting
mechanical
us take
object
over this
that's
artificial
unnecessary.
sun.
And
We
I
want
can
to
do it in
see
this
if
one. I
they
can show
can
you. Hold on.
barbecue this.
An original German bratwurst, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah? Okay, then we accept this challenge.
Yeah, you accept this challenge. All right, so you see this silvery sky that you got around this glare of light? Because the sun is not a big ball of fire. It's not a big ball of anything up in the sky like they tell us. The moon and the sun are actually continuous, I don't want to call them projections, but they go from the veil to the ground. All right, you can see the true creator's work from the veil to the ground is the best way to explain it. And when we're looking at the moon, because we have it in our head that the moon is a big ball of moon dust and the whole heliocentric thing, get it out of your mind, really. And the same thing with the geocentric model, just get it out of your mind. I mean, the whole flat earth nonsense and everything, it's all nonsense. We can actually, because the geocentric model were the original lies, then we moved on to the heliocentric lies, and they've carried these on for a long time. And it took them a lot of years, a couple hundred years at least anyways, to convince us that we were ourselves living on a spinning wet pararocket ball called a planet, and then these other entities were planets. It's not none of them things. So you actually have it right here in this video and 2 others that I'll be able to show you. You see the silver sky, right? I don't know how old you are. You look like you're in your 20s, late 20s or something, but I remember when I was a kid. I'm in my 50s already. And when I was a kid, the skies were blue. Today they're silver. We all know why. So I get into the conspiracy shit and everything. We can all look up in the sky and see them trailing the fucking skies every day all over this earth. 7.8 billion zombies just want to ignore it. Well, anyways, the upper atmosphere spray and the lower atmosphere spray are doing many different things. One of them is controlling the sunlight. So you can have more or less of different types of light. It's very simple when you think about it, because okay, if the light from the sun, okay, which is just a visual, it's not a big ball of anything burning up in the sky. It's all an electrical system that we live in. We live in an electromagnetic nanocarbon system. And all around that light, what we see in our eyes, which is, we never get more than a glare, right? Unless you're going to take the word of a scientist that's going to show you pictures of a burning ball of gas that makes no fucking sense because there's no oxygen out there. So how does a burning ball of anything burn in outer space where there's no fucking oxygen to have your fire? None of it makes any sense. It's all stupid, and it's purposely ignorant, set up that way, so that the geniuses, all of us who went to school and were educated, in other words, believe the lies, that we would go out and reinforce these lies in our next generation and all that kind of shit. So we did. So anyway, back to your sun simulator. So if you're taking the particles and you have control of the particles, which we used to, the 7.8 billion zombies 10,000 years ago, we used to have control of all these particles. We were doing it ourselves. Then we gave it up and we became slaves. And now we're just zombie slaves, and now 10,000 years later. But anyways, hopefully that maybe someday will change. Okay, back to the sun simulator. It's not a simulator at all. What they're doing is they're controlling the rays of the sun. If they want to make it look and appear to you that you see a sun next to another sun, or a reflection of a sun, they call it a refraction, then that's easy enough to do with the particles, right? Think about it. If you're throwing, let's just use some of their most famous ones, the aluminum, strontium, barium, lithium oxide carbons that they lay in the lower atmosphere. Then you've got 14 different agents added to those that go in the upper atmosphere. So just take the cutters, because see, the thing you'll learn if you start to look at the system is all the blacks, what I refer to everything as colors, because the heavy metals and minerals that the builders use to build with, the dark ones, the black ones, and brown, and all the way up through the gray, dark grays, all those shades and colors are the pushers and pullers in the entire system. That's what their jobs do. Different variations depending on their color of how much push and pull they're going to do in the system. Then you go from the other side of the light spectrum to the whites, and the whites are the cutters. Whites are cutting everything, and you go from the whites to the very whites to the peaches, and you work your way up through the light grays. Again, you get back to the light grays where they're both going to mix like this and meet with each other. And you can even put the colors and the lights and shadows on the same spectrum. You can, because it's the blacks and the whites that actually create color. It's pretty amazing. In this whole entire system, it works this way. And okay, so if you know yourself, if you take, let's say, the aluminums, leave the strontium out, leave the barium out, they're too dark, throw in a nickel and something else that's a cutter but also has good magnetic ability, throw in another heavy metal. Now these heavy metals, when you hear the word heavy metals, you're thinking of something that's heavy. How's it going to go up in the air? No, it's not like that. You should know that it's the nanolith carbons. They're smaller than nano. They're nanolith carbons. They go even smaller than nano, okay? And those nanolith carbons are what they're spraying out of the fucking jets right now at this point. If you go to China, they're putting them out of their factories. If you go to Mexico, they're putting them up in their factories. You go to different countries and they're all doing them in different ways. But the West and Canada and all the Americas, all the way through Brazil, they're all doing it by the jets. They spray them out of the jets. Many names for them, many conspiracy theories about it. Okay, so if you take the lighter colors, the cutters, and you take those lighter colors, just like you're seeing here, you're seeing a lot of different colors, but you're seeing mostly cutters. In a vision like this, when you're looking at the sun, what you're looking at, coming out here, you're seeing the darker colors, right? Which is bluish. I can put a filter on and we can make this into our black and this into our white. Even though you're seeing in that white, I'm seeing oranges, I'm seeing yellows. And this is not me looking directly. That's another thing, is you got to remember, we're going from your camera to the sky to YouTube, and then from this camera to this screen, and then to my eyes, right, or whatever, or even from my eyes to the screen, and then when I get on the other side, my video goes up. All right, so I'll mention a few things about that I very rarely mention, and I should start. YouTube enlarges the pixels, so no matter what I put up for videos, in my cloud videos and the moon videos I do, no matter what I do, they're always blowing up or checking. It's called checking. Put these tiny little microscopic checks that only I'm going to see, because I get right up to the screen with my cameras and start looking around, and it's not there when I'm making the videos, and it's not there sometimes even days after I post the videos, because I go back and watch my videos. But then all of a sudden I'll go back and watch a video months later, and I'm like, wait a minute, I was seeing all this very clearly. Now all of a sudden it's blurry, so I go and look at it in the large pixels. So keep that in mind, that we're using garbage human technology to do all this shit. And that's what it is. It's garbage, because the true creator's energy is way better to use than any of this shit. Better than all the Internet of Things, their telephones of things. It's garbage compared to the true creator's work. See, because we can all communicate using the true creator's energy. Probably too much information for you right now. Back to your story here. Okay, so if you take all the cutters that are all reflecting, because that's what they're doing, they're taking the light and using the light to cut everything. And what are they cutting? Let's just keep it simple. The true creator's work. They're cutting through it. So I'm learning a lot of this in the last, I don't know, month or two on this last series. So much by following the timelines of the moon and seeing how the light works, and the light comes into anywhere the light comes into, including the moon, takes these timelines, and the light runs through the fucking timelines, lighting up the shadows so that we are able to see the imagery. And also, depending on the angles of the light spectrum, that also decides on the colors, and the color spectrum starts coming out of it all. It's amazing. It's fucking amazing. So I've learned a lot about that I will get into over the next, until they shut me down out of this fucking channel. Anyways, so you can see where your sun simulator is much easier to do by just dumping out the heavy metals and minerals, right? So if you dump the heavy metals and minerals out of the jets, you'll know which ones you're dumping out. So as the light spectrum is coming from what we call the sun, it's not a ball, it's not a ball of gas, it'd be impossible and silly, but we all believe it. But anyways, so you can bounce it back and forth by, let's say, just the aluminum and the nickel. Those two reflection nanoparticles alone, obviously there, right? They're obviously, we can see them. We can see them in the color. I got 4 of your videos. I will go and do some videos to you over the next couple parts of this series, in between doing other shit. Because I really like doing your cloud videos and stuff too, because I think I'm able to show you, and if you're an open-minded person, you'll be able to see it and understand what it is I'm showing you. Okay, so back to this. Matter of fact, I'll try to go to another one while I'm talking. A lot of times I sidetrack myself when I try to do this, because these are short videos. These are only 40 seconds, 30 seconds, stuff like that, but they were good for showing you what I want to show you. Because it sucks to believe in that shit, because okay, so let's take the sun simulator idea out of the question. This was a good one that you did too. And I understand totally why you're buying into it, because I bought into it myself too. Like I said, at least I bought into the idea of looking into it. But when you really sit back and think about it, it's heavy. What are you going to do? I mean, it's tons and tons and tons. And when you realize that outer space is not what we're told of, this is a good video to show this to you in, I think. Unless it's your phone doing this effect. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see what you're even catching here. So this is a nighttime shot, and that's the moon. I can't pause this video. My fucking computer sucks. There we go. Alright, so I'm not sure what I'm looking at here. I'm going to see if these are particles. See, I'm looking around in here and I'm looking at all these particles. And I want to know if they're from the phone. If they are, I'll be able to tell, because there'd be square pixels. And I don't see square pixels yet. So this is most likely all atmospheric. Is that the moon or is that the sun? I don't know. Do you have a filter on? I don't know. I do notice that a lot of times you're trying to zoom in on shit and you're blurring up your camera. You can see the other objects that are in the background are very blurry and everything. Don't bother doing that when you're doing videos. You'll see it all at regular pace, and it's better to look in on the camera. Now, if I can show and prove to you that I can see all the imagery in there, first of all in the atmosphere. But if I start going in on it, then I have to make sure that it's not square pixels. I want to make sure it's not something in the computer. I could probably do it right now. Let's listen to these guys while I do that. We'll look around in there. Let's see. Put these guys back on.
This challenge could give us a way to demonstrate the precise control of our facility, even with a small sausage.
Researcher Dmitry Larber prepares the test rig. It will hold some custom-built grilling tech.
It's our scientific barbecue installation.
The rotisserie spit will be turned by an electric
Shut
drill.
this off.
Kai V being a good sport about
I'll tell you
our
too,
challenge,
another
he
thing that
takes
you
his
can
work
do
very
to prove to
seriously.
yourself, these guys are a waste of time anyways, don't worry about it. Another thing I'll mention to you, I'm just getting a cropping tool while I'm talking here. Okay, so when I'm talking about the light bouncing around, I'm talking about the light bouncing around off the heavy metals and minerals that they put up into the atmosphere. We're the zombies that do it. We just deny that we do it. And it does look like the atmosphere that we're looking at. I don't see the square pixels. I see triangular builders in here. So far, so good. So far, so good. So when I'll start showing you the imagery. I don't know if I'll be able to put a filter on to do it, but let me see. Yeah, it's fucking banging. All right, so right here you got an image of a lot of atmosphere in here. It's all full of imagery, okay? Now, as you take your cropping tool, you're going to take your piece of cardboard like this and cut a little bit around this to it and everything. It's all guesswork right now anyway, so whatever you do is fine. And what you're going to do is use your cropping tool to come in and crop images because everything in the True Creator's work is collaged. And what I'm looking for right now is I'm looking in the computer. I see square pixels, but they're not prominent. It's not all I see. I see all the triangulars everywhere. Everywhere I see the triangulars. This is almost like looking into the veil at night. It's pretty cool. So when you have to be able to separate the True Creator's work from see, because the pixels, even in a screen, which have human influence, right? Even the square pixels that I find in here, I can count them as the human influence. I don't have to count them. I mean, look at that. It's fucking amazing. I don't have to count them as the True Creator's work because I know the True Creator's builders build in triangular shapes. Everything's built with triangles. So when I see all these square pixels, the square pixels are up and down and they're perfect and they don't go out of line. They stay square. Triangular shapes, they're all triangular shapes, millions of them. So I can see really good in here. So because of what they dump in the atmosphere, all these different colors have heavy metals and minerals, you were able to use those heavy metals and minerals in order to see the True Creator's work even better. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm seeing it now, but I'm trying to get it comfortable. My desk this is all new to me, so I got a light hit me in the head and all this shit. All right, so I'm going to slow the camera down so I can show you. So I got my cropping tool in here. And I'm going to crop with the lines because I've been learning about these lines. Now, these lines are the timelines. They're the actual fucking timelines. Now, I found these on the moon just recently, I don't know, a month ago or whatever, that I've confirmed them. I found them a long time ago. I'm looking at the imagery, but having a hard time. I don't know if I put a filter on, it'll make things too dark. I see it, but I just don't know if I'm going to be able to show it to you, if it's going to come through. What I'm doing is I'm coming closer over to the light, whatever light this is. I don't care if it's a light from a light pole. I don't care if it's what they're telling you is a sun simulator up in the sky. Whatever this is supposed to be. I don't know. If we end up talking later, you can fill me in on it. Because I haven't listened to the videos. I just saw them and I saw sun simulator written. Okay, see how beautiful the imagery is in there? All right, so eye, nose, and mouth. And when I get my finger out of the way, you'll be able to see this big face, got a hairdo up here, all this, got a mustache and beard going, and all this. Okay, so I'm going to crop him right to about here so I can try to bring you on his face. Now I'm going to crop with the camera so I can show you the imagery. Okay, so there's millions of them in here, but I'm using actually the light on this side to crop his face from that angle. Then I'm using the camera and I'm going back and forth till they get him. So there you go. So I'll bring in on him as good as I can. See him when I stop moving the camera around? And everything is about lights and shadows, number one, and angles and distances of perspective is number two. That's how we're all going to be able to see the True Creator's work. We were all lied to all these years about everything. But one of them, I won't even get into it. I'm just going to stick to this. Otherwise, I run off on the video. I'm already at 24 minutes. So anyways, I got millions and millions of images that I can show you in here. And so what we're looking at is particles that were dumped out of jets, in our case, because you're in Florida. It looked like I seen a lot of Florida trees or California, maybe, I don't know. But you're obviously getting sprayed because all the United States is, right? So that's what you're seeing in the sky here. And that's the same thing that controls the sun simulator. As a matter of fact, with this many particles, think about this. I mean, it's just common sense. It's just that they get us in a funk, and they get us all scared and worried, and they put all these stupid fucking documentaries out about whatever, 9/11, in this case a sun simulator, and then on one channel they're telling you, oh yeah, they exist, and on the other channel they're telling you, oh, that's impossible, that's conspiracy theory. So fuck them all. Just we'll go look for ourselves. So I'm able to show you this and explain it to you fairly easy, and you should be able to understand it. So by dumping a bunch of particles in your atmosphere where you are standing when you took this video, right? They could take the smallest light at a long distance, 30, 50, hundreds of miles away, right? A smallest light. But with all this reflection and refraction, they can send the light any which direction they want, because let's say you go 100 miles to your right and 100 miles to your left, and there was no aerosol spraying going on at that time. No heavy metals and minerals being added on that day. That means just whatever was in the upper atmosphere and whatever was just floating around down here, that was already floating around earlier. In other words, clouds, right? So atmosphere, whatever's in there, these are all pushing and pulling using the cell phone towers. That's how they push and pull all the heavy metals and minerals down at the ground level, just to let you know. The upper atmosphere, they get pushed around with what I call eraser jets that push them in and out of place. All these different things, but they have no control over the imagery. The only way they get control over the imagery, in other words, the true creators work. That's why it's a beautiful thing to go see for yourselves. Because once you start seeing the true creators work for yourself and you see how it works, then what's going to happen is you're going to say, fuck these liars, They're all a bunch of fucking liars. We can see it all for ourselves. They can't lie to you anymore. That was one of the things I try to impress on everybody that I do videos to, is that's the beauty of it, and they can't lie to us anymore. But it seems like everybody just likes to be lied to, and they like the entertainment of, things going this way. The only thing is right now things are changing a lot, so they're hitting the reset button on a lot of things. I'm just looking around as we're talking to make sure I don't see a lot of square pixeling, and I don't. I see all triangular pixeling. It looks really decent. Let me see. Let me make sure over here. Yeah, and even the timelines meet with the glare and everything. Because what I was starting to say earlier, and I like I said, I run myself off a lot. Okay, the square pixels of a computer, human influence, have no choice but to go along with the true creator's work. So yeah, we're able to see all these faces now. If I didn't see these same feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast in every other situation that I looked in, trees, rocks, stones, water, moon, you name it, then when I came to something like this, I'd say, oh, that's just an electrical effect with the computer or something like that. No, we can prove that it's not. We can prove, because we're not seeing the square pixels, we're seeing the triangular pixels. So that means that this particular video that you did, a 1 minute video, is so fucking valuable that people don't even realize it. And when I'm looking at it very closely, I'm looking in here, see all these little tiny triangular shapes everywhere? I'm only showing you the dark ones when I do that, but actually they're in every shape and every size and every color. Hold on a minute. No, I did not know that. No, I just thought they had the... Yeah. Well, why don't you just wait till we take the cover off, and then you can use that, Yeah, just do that. Alright. Well, give this sea lion a kiss for me, and check in with me later. Okay, I love you. Okay,
Search at a big power company that generated electricity by burning coal.
I wanted to invent technologies which can help to prevent the climate change.
He quit and joined the DLR Solar Research Institute to build this,
Okay, let's see
his
what else we
dream
got in here.
project.
You had a couple of them. You
Solar
had a few of them
research
that I could
is
see
extremely important for
right
the
into it.
future of our
So
planet.
this would be another one that I could probably show you on it.
Kai and Dimitri
Morphing
can
sun,
inspect the
I'm
array
just-
up close now, but
Morphing
no one
sun,
can
I'm
be
just
near it when it's turned
recording.
on.
It's
There's quite a bit
extremely
of something
dangerous.
going on.
So,
Yeah,
if
it
we
is.
get
It's
close
exactly what I'm
by
explaining to you.
the
So
light
if
of
you
one lamp,
dump all the heavy
we
metals and
would,
minerals into the atmosphere, exactly. So you can bring the reflection and refractions of the sun and bounce them around all in the atmosphere. Yeah, definitely you can see it. So all around. So you can see where they did this, but look way out here. They could make this even bigger if they wanted. They could keep refracting and reflecting that whole entire area depending on what heavy metals and minerals they want to drop in over any particular area. Now, on one hand, you could say that they're making it hotter, and sometimes they do, depending on what heavy metals and minerals. Because you got to remember, it not only is the light from the sun. Okay, the sun's coming down from here, right? So coming at me. So not only is the light being refracted back, but it's for every little particle that's in the sky that they drop in. The darker ones are absorbing, the lighter ones are cutting, and what they're doing is they're bouncing back and forth off each other. And just because we don't see it right here where we're sitting, it's right here where we're sitting too, unfortunately. It's all unfortunate, really, because the reason why it's unfortunate is because we don't use it for our benefit anymore. There was a time, just not even that long ago, 700, 800 years ago, probably not even that long ago, where natives of all lands were still using this technology, but they were using it for the benefit of the human population still. And somehow we lost it. Now we just call it Mother Nature. We call it God, but we don't look at reality and say, no, all we got to do is put these particular heavy metals and minerals up in the atmosphere and this will happen. And then we put this heavy metal and mineral up into the atmosphere and that will happen. And then we knew it all back then. We knew the story. I could go on and explain it all in detail, but you might not even have any interest. You might be happy with the idea of a 37-ton light bulb being up in the sky. It's ridiculous. We got burned on it. It was a bullshit idea. Many reasons why that's a bullshit idea too is because there's no such thing as outer space. So if the claim is that humans had taken this big 30-ton light bulb and put it up into outer space, right? That's because that's the claim, so that it'll just float around out there. It's also stupid. So it's going to float around out there, and it's going to be a solar sun simulator. And when we turn it on, it's going to simulate the sun. Simulate what the sun does. No fucking way. First of all, can't get past the Allen belt. Second of all, there's no such thing as outer space. Third of all, there's no way to control it once it's out there because you cannot bounce rocket engines. They're useless, right? There's no oxygen to bounce your oxygen up. So it's all garbage. It's all just bullshit. It's stuff that's supposed to... These are all things that I'm mentioning that are to make the geniuses feel more ingenious, right? To make the zombie slaves feel like we're so fucking smart, no one can pull nothing over on us, right? We got it all figured out, It's all right in front of us and we don't see it, but yeah, we got it all figured out. So you dump all the heavy metals and minerals all over the atmosphere and you can do whatever you want with that sun. But don't think that they're making it hotter. They can make it hotter, but it's not for the reasons you're thinking. They're not making it hotter by making the sun hotter. But they're making it hotter because they're laying out the carbons in the lower atmosphere. The purpose of them is to keep the heat and the moisture, fungus, down below. And they're fungusing the shit out of this earth. Not a planet, not a flat, the earth. We'll just call it that for now, okay? So that's what they've been doing, and they've been doing this for a long fucking time in a lot of different ways. They just now, more recently, spray it out of jets. This is how humans control it. They have weather reports and weathermen that make tens of thousands of dollars at a pop, at a clip for every interview they do to tell you some lies that were handed down from agencies, other agencies, Pentagon agencies, military agencies, deceiving agencies, conspiracy agencies, you name them. Anyways, So it's easy to understand this. So there's a way to bounce the light back and forth around. Just to let you know, what they're doing is they're taking out several different UV rays, ultraviolet light rays. They're taking out several of them because there are a lot of ultraviolet rays, and you'll know this, and you'll see evidence for it by the certain species that are being killed off. They don't do good by these rays, these particular rays that you're showing us here. We've been laying these out for about 20 years now, and they're not good for us at all. And then for many, many reasons, they're not good for us. But that's another reason. And so you can take the UV rays that we like, that are good for the humans. I'll name a few: humans, bumblebees, ladybugs. There's these ones that look like a cricket, but they're not really a cricket, but they kind of look like a cricket. A lot of people feed them to their snakes. I forget the name of them. There's those. They're all going away because their electromagnetic makeup does not agree with any of the electromagnetic makeup that humans are dumping all over the skies. And they're also, humans on a large scale are taking away the things that protected us, humans, from all the bad stuff. The metallus, the bad metallus, I call it. Can't get into it. If I talk about the metallus, take too long, and my videos get shut down anyway, because they call it medical. They say that it's medical science, and I have no right talking about it, so they kill my channel. So anyways, like, we took out the copper from the pipes. We now put PVC in. We took out the irons and the leads from the homes. That was protecting us from the metallus, from the bad metalluses, because they're good metallus too, that we would need as biospecies, but then there's a lot of bad ones. So what they're doing with the light is encouraging the bad metallus to come up and kill off the human population, along with these several others. Pets, I'm pretty sure, are going to be included in this takeout as well. They're going to be starting all over just like the humans are, so it's going to be quite a reset, because the true creator's work is feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast, and the false creator/creator stole the true creator's work and built a biosystem including feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast. So all the other species that came after feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast derived from humans dividing Adam ourselves. And when we started doing that, that's when the zombie slavery really began. Like I say, my best guess so far is around 10,000 years ago. I have all kinds of fascinating stories about that time period that I could tell you, especially seeing that you're black, girls, so that you might be interested. Your boyfriend, if he's into it, or husband, might be interested in all this, because I've been trying to find somebody of color, preferably black, not necessarily browns and lighter grays and stuff, preferably someone black, because there's a whole bunch of shit I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you anyways, whether you want to know it or not. I'm going to show anybody else. On the moon, how we were totally fucked. And you can see that all the nationalities are represented in the true creator's work. There should have been no division between any of us, other than an acknowledgement of the need for division, but not a fake, hey, we're all united, we're all together in this, and then really in reality everybody's against each other. There's reasons for a needed certain amount of divisions, but we should be aware of them. And no, in other words, there should be a great appreciation for every color. We could say nationalities or whatever, but just every color. And nationalities, because the facial features change and everything too. So we're going to start going heavy into the moon in my series. After I'm going to just do 2 or 3 parts to roll in through your videos. I just wanted to go over this with you, explain what the true sun simulator really is. I had a video set up to play while I was going to be doing this, but none of that worked out, and now the video is probably almost over. I'm at probably like 30 something minutes already, and so I guess I'll just do it. Let's see if I can do this. I think I explained everything I wanted to explain about that. Oh, so just the particles, right? So so you figure with the sun's rays coming down to do its job, you've seen over the years we went from a yellow light, now we're at a white light today. I always compare it to the inside of a light bulb. This light bulb aiming at me has a yellowish tint to it. It's one of those Thomas Edison bulbs. The original ones, you know, you pay an extra $9 or whatever for it or whatever. So that's this bulb that's aimed at my face right now. I figured maybe it'd make me look a little younger or something, but who knows? We'll see when I watch the video back. And the thing is this yellow light is what we had when I was a kid. We were working under the yellow lights. You know, you can take a sodium vapor light compared to a halogen, and you look at the particles that are inside the light that make up the light. Well, doing the same thing here. So if you add these different particles to the system, you're going to get the same reaction as far as visuals go and light goes. It's one of the reasons why I think a lot of people are having I think that people have a hard time seeing what I'm trying to show everybody, the true creator, and seeing the work, because it's like all around us. And I think that's the biggest thing, where the lies. And that's a big part of it. That's why they have to lie to us about absolutely everything. They need you wasting all your energy for most of your life, and just, you know, distancing yourself from family members who are going to go like this. Solar Sun Simulator, what a fucking crazy person she is. And all this kind of shit, right? It's all purposeful. It's to divide you from your friends and family. It's to give you something that you can never prove, right? Oh, gee, do I have to go wait over in fucking Texas for them to, and I'll wait outside the airport and see if I see them wheeling this 30-ton fucking thing out to a rocket ship that's going to fly it out, right? I mean, can do this. What I'm showing you, you can prove, because you can see it all for yourselves. The imagery is banging in that last video I did, that you had all that in there, and I know that is the true creator's work that I'm seeing in there. I know it. I know what it looks like now. So I will bring you back to all these videos. I will do probably a 2 or 3 parts it's going to take me to do this, especially the way I'm talking. And if I'm in the mood to, you know, to do that by that time. And then if you decide that you want to do a series with me, then jump in. It's very simple. You just aim your camera everywhere, and then when you post your videos, I'll remaster them just the same way that I'm doing it now. So I don't care. I used to hate it when people had 30-40-second videos, but as you can see, we can do just as much with a 30-second video as I can with 45-minute videos. I mean, so yeah, we can do that. So if you do, that'll be great. If not, no big deal. I just wanted to put this out there to you so that you'd see it for what it is, and have a chance at least anyways, and not be fucked around by these clowns anymore. Let's see what I got for minutes. Alright, so yeah, 41 minutes already. I don't know what I can do in 5 minutes. If I can go, I guess I could try if I pause it. Hold on a minute. Okay, so I just mentioned real quick that, because I only got a few minutes left, is this video here. This is one of the best ones that you had for seeing the true creators work and seeing the builders for what they are, but then you zoom in real fast and you go in. Like if you leave it right here, I can't pause. Let's see if I pause. There we go. So if you leave it right here, you can pull a lot of imagery out of here. But what happens is once you go in, because it's crisp and clear, is why I'm saying that. But once the camera starts zooming in, let's see if I'll do it. Because then you come up, and then you leave it steady for one more shot, and I got really good in there. Yeah, right there. So right in there, I got a lot of imagery out of that I was able to extract its digital collection of electromagnetic nanocarbon from the cloud level. And you'll be able to see by looking for yourself that the true creator's work is all around us. And one of the things that I was starting to say earlier is that the same way that they're doing with the sun and the dropping the particles in there, it's hard to do because I don't have a camera stand, is when you watch me cropping, if you watch any of my videos and you watch me cropping, what you're watching me do is I'm sending the light from the computer that's coming out at the camera, I'm sending it back to the computer again, and I call it lights and shadows. It don't get any simpler. Like there's a real good image right here, but the only thing is I don't have a camera stand, so I'm gonna probably shut my camera off by myself. So when I come down here to grab it, what I'm doing is, number one, I'm cropping the image because all the images are collaged. I could be flipping this camera in every direction and showing you the images in every direction. And also, this one runs into that one, but I see the timeline right here. These are timelines, by the way, even in the clouds, they're timelines. It's amazing. When I get this back to doing videos, I'm going to show everybody how this is all fucking working. I found the timelines in the moon, and the timelines come all the way down and through. So it's going to be all over when I'm able to show this. All right, so up here you got this big one. Eye, nose right here, mouth right here. Okay, large image, face. Try to get them for you. So, image within image within image from the veil to the ground. And we can extract all these images ourselves. We can see it all with our own eyes. So I'll come back over here later. But what I wanted to point out is because of the sun simulator, you see how if you drop the particles there, you can bounce the sun back and then forth and then back again and then forth as it's coming down. So you're not only are you disrupting the sun's rays, but you can reflect them, so it'll appear to our eyes that the sun has gotten brighter. The only reason that things in temperatures are getting hotter is because they've created a barrier of carbon between us and the upper atmosphere, so the lower atmosphere and the ground level atmosphere, I should say, cannot escape up through, because there's this small layer. We can see the fucking layer, right? Every time you set your camera up, you can see there's a layer of silver layer in the sky. Yeah, this is a really good video. I'm gonna take some time and I will come back to this video, and I will do this at least. I will at least do this video, quick one. But again, if you come to these, because you're a new subscriber, so you might come to them, and if you do, yeah, there was some female imagery in here as well. So yeah, I'd be happy to do that with you. Hopefully you're someone that would be interested in doing that, because I'm kind of sick of calling out what are most likely. Because here's the next one. There's another one right here, but if I have to switch hands, by that time the video will probably be... Fucker. Did it shut off? No. What am I at for minutes? All right, it's going to shut off any minute. All right, I'm not set up for it. I need the camera in my hand because I need to crop from this direction in order to show you that other one. So I'm all fucking twisted up right now. I got one hand going over my leg and I'm all twisted up. So I'm not going to bother. But anyways, I'll be back and I'll show you just what you're missing. That's good. And I got no filter on right now either. That's another thing. If I add the filter, I'll be able to show you even more. All right, I'll be back.